Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week we have 12 incredible watches for you guys and girls, ranging from some beautiful precious metal Piagets, including a white gold AP over there as well, some really big watches, some more micro brands. There really is something for everyone in this week's drop, and that's what we aim to provide every single Saturday, 9:30 a.m. So thank you for tuning in. Now, if you are here to see a specific watch, please do head down into the description. Each watch is listed there, as well as a timestamp, so it will take you straight to that watch, and there will be a link that will take you over to the website. Please do keep in mind, we have additional photos of every single watch listed under the points of mention on the listings themselves on the website. So we do as much as possible, as well as the stock photos, additional phone photos done with natural light. This 4K YouTube video, again, done in natural light. No editing is done, no color corrections or anything like that. I keep it raw. So you have to excuse the noise. Clerkenwell is always noisy. So that way you get the best representation, so you can make a decision for yourself. So hopefully that is all nice and clear. And before we crack on with the watches, I want to say a big thank you for all of the well wishes and just the sort of really just heartwarming response we've been having. As of the time of recording this video, which is the 23rd of August, Tuesday the 23rd of August, I tried to do them in advance, as you know. Our son hasn't been born yet, which is good. The longer he is put, the better. And my wife still is in slow labour as we speak, which is pretty brutal for her, bless her. So it does mean at any moment he could really come. Obviously, still the process of labour itself, but it could also go all the way until mid-August when our induction is booked in. So it just means until that point, until our son is here, and until we know he's obviously all well and good, I am going to be in the office a bit sporadically. I am aiming for Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday every week. I think I got my days wrong in the last video, so I apologise. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Wednesday and Friday are the days I'll hold appointments. Tuesday's truly admin day, recording, editing the videos, doing all the coming soons for Instagram. For those of you that don't know, I do everything you see myself. So therefore it's a lot of work, and I love it. It's brilliant. But it's better when I have 5 or 6 days to do it as opposed to 3. So hopefully you can all appreciate that. And for those of you that don't know, I do have a daughter who's nearly 2 years old. So she's in nursery on the days I'm in the office, but it does mean I have to drop her off and pick her up. So it's in later than I would usually be and home a lot earlier than I would usually be, just to make it all work. But we're still going. You're still getting your orders. I think the longest delay has been 2 days for a delivery compared to what it would normally be. So I think all being said and done is pretty damn good considering everything that's going on. So thank you all for your understanding, your patience, and I'm still buying, I'm still selling, I'm still consigning, we're still doing the drops. Everything's going as normal, so thank you all very much. Now, before we crack on with the watches on the table, as always, let's show what's on wrist. I'm wearing my gorgeous 1975 Zenith Defy Automatic on its integrated bracelet, a watch I've had for many years. It isn't for sale. There's a great story to this one. I believe it's in pretty much every state of the collection I've done. I haven't done one of those in a very long time. Maybe towards the end of the year we'll do a big family one again. I think I did that last time, probably 2 years ago now. And we'll have a look at the whole collection and how it's changed. But as of right now, this is not going anywhere, and I hope it never goes anywhere. So that's what's on wrist. But now that that's done, let's crack on with what you're here to see. We are going to show 2 Piagets. They are already sold. I just happen to still have them at the time of recording this video. So I thought I'd include them as standard, because obviously I've done the photography, I've done all the listing, I've done everything anyway. So why not show? And we're going to start with this gorgeous 70s 18 karat white gold Piaget black tie with a black tiger's eye. Not something you see often. So let's take a closer look. So starting this week off with an absolutely incredible 1970s Piaget. This is a black tie reference with a black tiger's eye, which is absolutely mesmerizing. It completely plays with the light depending on which angle you're looking at, and in some angles it's completely black, and then others you get that beautiful pattern, which is primarily at the top half of the dial, as you can see, as opposed to the bottom, creating this really dynamic and interesting thing. Then we get to the case, which is 18 karat white gold, and as you can see, you've got that really incredible texture throughout. If I can get that in focus, absolutely amazing. Nice 18 karat white gold crown at 3 o'clock, and as we flip it over, you're presented with a nice screw down case back with the reference and serial still clearly visible. This is a reference 9562, and inside is a manually wound Piaget caliber 9P, one of the thinnest movements at the time, and is still incredibly thin, and that's what helps with the profile of this one. As I say, circa 1970s. It comes on this aftermarket strap, which I think suits the watch absolutely beautifully, and it comes with an original 18 karat gold 18 karat white gold Piaget buckle to match as well. A really beautiful and rare example. As I say, already sold, so I'm just showing this one out of interest more than anything, because it's just incredible to see something like this. Let me rest it against my wrist. I won't fasten it because obviously it's quite a small strap, and the strap is pretty much new as well. I don't want to bend it for the new owner, but you can see it rested against my 7-inch wrist there. Obviously on the smaller size, more traditionally a ladies watch, but again, you know, you can wear whatever you like. If you like how this looks, by all means go for it. And watches of this size, so it's 24mm by 28mm lug to lug, only 5mm on the thickness and 14mm on the lugs with drilled lug holes to make strap changing nice and easy. So here we go. From that Piaget to the final one that is already sold as of the time of recording this video, it's this gorgeous Protocol, Piaget Protocol, yellow gold with a Pave diamond dial. Absolutely incredible. So let's take a closer look. Next up we have a Piaget Protocol 18 karat yellow gold with a gorgeous diamond Pave dial. As you can see, the diamonds are all set beautifully on that dial with Piaget proudly stated at 12 o'clock, simple two hands, and that is it. Now this highly polished 18 karat gold front bezel of the watch, I guess you'd call it, is a fingerprint magnet, and it makes scratches look worse than they actually are. Like in person it doesn't look anywhere like that, to be honest, but because of the reflections and the smudges it just comes up that way. But again, this one's already sold to a very lucky owner who is going to enjoy this one. Really nice case profile, obviously on the larger size with these Protocol references, which is a 99041, and this one's from circa 1977, and inside again is a manually wound Piaget caliber 9P, which helps with the thinness of this watch, which comes in slightly thinner than the one we were just looking at. You can see it's paired on this beautiful made strap right here, and it does have its original 18 karat gold Piaget buckle, and interestingly the original Piaget strap is included in the package as well, but again an older strap. Yeah, let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. So again, whilst on the smaller side, this is totally wearable in my opinion, dimensions wise, and that diamond dial is really something spectacular, and obviously quite opposite to how watches traditionally are, which is plain dials with a diamond case, whereas this is the reverse, a plain gold case with a diamond dial. Very nice and interesting. 25mm by 28mm lug to lug, only 4.5mm on the thickness and 17mm at the lugs, making it wear just that little bit bigger, but a really wonderful watch. And unfortunately sold, but you can still check it out on the website with the link below. Now on to something really interesting and really beautiful. Another Piaget, this time with a lapis lazuli dial, or lazuli, however you want to say it. Lapis dial, let's just say the easy bit, lapis. And this one comes with its box and papers. A service has just come back from service with Piaget, where it also went to Switzerland to have Piaget put back on the dial, because at the service centre they accidentally wiped away the T. So they obviously on them, they took it back all the way to Switzerland, reprinted the dial, and it's back to having a T on Piaget, which is very important. I'll probably talk a little bit more about it as we look at the watch, so let's have a look. Now for another wonderful Piaget, this time a Piaget Polo. It's part of the Polo family, although it doesn't really look like the Polos we think of, but it's in reference to the case profile, as you can see, with those beautiful gold bars flowing through onto the dial from the case, and you can see that lapis blue dial, absolutely gorgeous. Two simple hands right there, and you can see no crown is visible because it's a back push quartz movement. These are quite complicated and very few people can work on them, and just to get the details out of the way, it's a quartz Piaget caliber 601 inside, and the reference is 15213, and this is amazingly from November 1992 with its box and paperwork. Original Piaget strap, which is obviously a little on the worn side, with its original 18 karat yellow gold Piaget buckle right there. Beautiful. So the story with this one is I bought it obviously, and then I had it attempted to be repaired with one of our watchmakers. They were unable to do it, so we then sent it off to Piaget, who obviously take a little longer to do things, are a lot more expensive. And what they did is they replaced the movement, which is not uncommon for these movements because they are, as I say, hard to repair, and Piaget just replaced them. And they have the power to do so, and it's all stated on the invoice and everything like that, all the service paperwork from Piaget. I get it back from Piaget, and unfortunately, during their work, they had wiped away the T on the dial, whereas Piaget, so it just said Piaget without a T. So it passed their quality control somehow, and obviously I was very disappointed, and Piaget had to send it back to Switzerland to basically have the name reprinted. So they took off the entire name and reprinted it. This does no damage to the dial because the dial is a stone dial, as you know, or more like a glass with lapis. So it's just a printing over the top, and it's the same gilt printing in the same place with the same font, and everything's the same. Just an unfortunate situation. It goes to show even the brands themselves can get things wrong and not notice things, but this is why it's very important, even yourself as a collector, obviously as a dealer this is something we do anyway, but document everything, photograph everything and keep track of everything before you ever send it anywhere, regardless of if it's going back to the original brand, because as I say, it's humans working on tiny little mechanical things at the end of the day, so things can go wrong. But credit where credit is due, Piaget rectified it, and they've done a beautiful job, and now it is ready to be sold, and it comes with its Piaget paperwork, warranty, even the paperwork stating about the dial reprint, so that's all there for you. But let's show it rested against my wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, rested against my 7-inch wrist. Obviously this is a very small watch, definitely a more of a ladies watch, but I have to be honest, I'd probably, this might sound a bit odd to some people, but I would wear this on my right wrist as a piece of jewelry, because I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like a, especially with like a new leather strap, you've got yourself a nice leather bracelet that happens to have a gold small watch on it. I think that's really cool. But dimensions of this one are 14mm by 24mm lug to lug, only 5mm on the thickness, which is incredible, and 10mm on the lug width. And to change the time, as I say, you hold and push that back part with the little button right there to change the time, but it's all set and ready to go. So go check it out on the website today. From there over to a watch I've had a few times. A couple of people have bought this watch, really enjoyed it, but chopped it in for other things. Sometimes that happens with watches. I think it's a gorgeous watch, but in the grand scheme of some collections, it just gets overridden by other things. But this, to me, is a great value opportunity. So let's take a closer look at this one. Onto this gorgeous Omega Aquaterra. This is the Shades, part of the Shades collection in Bay Green, as they call it, which is this absolutely wonderful tone and just really looks beautiful and works with the design. Now I do just want to quickly say, I noticed in some of the photos on the website there's a little smudge on the crystal around 11-12 o'clock. That was literally a smudge, and I didn't realize until I'd finished editing and uploading to the website, and I just don't have time to re-photograph it, unfortunately. But as you can see right there, there is no smudge in that area, so you're all good. There is no mark or anything like that, and there's the additional photos where you can see everything. I won't bore you with the reference to this one, you can go see it on the website, but you've got a beautiful applied logo at 12 o'clock, date nicely placed and integrated at 6 o'clock. For those of you who are really bothered by weird date placements, I think that works beautifully. And the iconic Omega broad arrow, or arrow hands I guess you'd call them. Nice sign screw down crown at 3 o'clock, and it comes on this Jubilee 3-link style bracelet with a push button folding clasp, as you can see. Really, really lovely. Exhibition case back right there, showcasing the automatic Omega caliber 8800, which is obviously part of their coaxial range and a very high grade, high quality movement. And this one's from November 2023 with its full box and paperwork, ready to be enjoyed and loved. As I say, it's been sold a couple of times and it's been in a couple of great collections, but I guess just overshadowed really, and it's a shame because this watch stands on its own beautifully and it's just waiting for that right collector to really appreciate it, and maybe that's you. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. You can see the proportions are spectacular, and that dial just really begs to be played with in the light. It just sort of changes and morphs. So this is 38mm by 45mm lug to lug, only 12.5mm on the thickness and 19mm at the lugs. So go check this one out on the website today. From there over to a Grand Seiko that's absolutely amazing at 37 millimeters. This is the self-data SPGV 011. Really great watch. This comes with its box papers and an original strap and buckle. So let's take a closer look at that one. Now for quite a rare and early Grand Seiko, and that's obviously visible immediately by the fact you've still got Seiko on the dial on Grand Seiko at 6 o'clock. Part of that stealth wealth sort of look, in my opinion, because to people just glancing at your wrist, they're going to think you're wearing a Seiko, but to those who really know, they're going to know it's a Grand Seiko. But anyway, it's part of the historical collection, and this is the self-data, as it's called, and it's a reference SPGV 011, and it's actually limited to 900 pieces total. You've got a really nice, beautiful, matte, clean black dial with that beautiful Zaratsu finishing on the hands and indices, date over there at 6 o'clock, and a nice case profile as well with a fat beefy lugs. There is a scratch on this top lug right there, as you can see, that comes onto the bezel, but other than that, just general wear you'd expect from a watch of this age, which is from June 2014, as I say, with its box and paperwork, and it even comes with a Grand Seiko strap and buckle as well to swap out from the bracelet, which is a really nice, I guess you'd call it 5-link with the center bits polish, or 3-link with the center bits brushed and polished, Grand Seiko push button clasp, and a nice signed screw down case back. Now inside there is a quartz Grand Seiko caliber 9F82, so this is still part of the 9F series, a very early iteration, and just beautifully done. As I say, if you're looking for an early Grand Seiko, something that really stands out from the crowd, this is definitely one to consider, because the aesthetics are clean, simple and elegant, yet it really packs a punch on the wrist. So let's show it on the wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, on my 7-inch wrist, that just looks effortless in my opinion. It's sort of watch that you put on and you question yourself whether you need other watches, because it just ticks all the boxes, especially with the additional strap as well. So this is 37mm by 43.5mm lug to lug, only 9.5mm on the thickness and 19mm at the lug, so a little awkward, but as I say, you've got that extra strap already in the box. So go check this one out on the website today. From there over to probably my favorite watch on the table, because it's going to bring different opinions and different reactions from people, and that's what I love about some watches. This is a 1960s Audemars Piguet 18 karat white gold ultra thin in 33mm with a patinaed blue dial, and that's the fascinating thing to me. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to something, as I said, that won't be for everyone, and that is what I love about watches, especially vintage watches like this. This is a 1960s Audemars Piguet ultra thin in 18 karat white gold, and you can see that original blue dial, which these dials were electroplated, has developed this really interesting speckled patina which almost looks like gold paint flickers. I really like it. Not everyone will, that's okay, but it's original and we're keeping it this way. You can have it refinished if you wish, but again, I just think this adds a real nice charm and a really different look to the watch. That's really interesting. So this dial, the way they did these dials is basically a sheet of metal that they electroplate the color that they want it to be, and these early iterations of blue dials often patinaed like this. It wasn't just this watch or this reference or this era. If you look at Rolexes, Tudors, and many other brands from the same era with blue dials, this would happen. And in some cases, like early blue dial Datejust, for example, you kind of look for the speckling around the lume plots as a sign of originality. No matter how well preserved they are, typically you get a bit of paint fleck of the blue come away and reveal that gold tone underneath, or like a brass or base metal dial. So there's just a little bit of information for you of the originality of this, why it happens. I don't really know. I think it's just the blue they used, the process that they used just didn't last that long, and they obviously didn't know back then. It was a new technique. But anyway, this is a reference 649. You can see a nice simple snap-on case back there with the numbers and hallmarks still visible. Inside is a beautifully manually wound Piaget caliber 2001. Piguet caliber, sorry, Audemars Piguet. I don't know why I said Piaget, my apologies. And as I say, circa 1960s. I paired it on this nice blue strap. Something to keep in mind is the spring bar and the strap are very close, so it will wear down the strap slightly, but it's going to be nice and comfortable once worn in. And when you replace the straps, you need a very thin strap towards the end, otherwise you're going to have this same problem where it just about squeezes on and it does rub slightly against the case. Again, it's no issue because the strap is the thing that will get the wear, not the case. Plus I think that strap just looks so good on it. I wanted to keep it that way personally anyway. So let's show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. I absolutely love the look of this one, if you can't tell already. So this is 33mm by 36.5mm lug to lug, only 6.5mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lugs. So go check out this absolute beauty on the website today. From there over to a Furlan Mari. This is the grey sector automatic. Great watch, I've had a few of them now, the exhibition case back. Furlan Mari's second watch, I believe it was, and they've just recently done a Disco Volante, which I think looks really great, and I can't wait to get one of those on my desk, hopefully to sell. So we'll take a look at this one for now. Next up, a really interesting Furlan Mari. This is a grey sector dial with the most interesting sort of scalloped lugs or clamshell lugs, claw lugs, whatever you want to call them. Everyone has different names for these sort of things, but they're really beautiful and elegant, and obviously heavily inspired by early Patek Calatravas or sector dial watches in general by them, often with cases made by Francois Bourgel or other interesting case makers, and that's where Furlan Mari get a lot of their inspiration from, as you'll see with their new release, the Disco Volante. It looks incredible, so it's definitely not going to be for everyone, but that's okay. Beautiful applied Breguet numerals, simple style leaf hands which just look elegant, and obviously the highlight of the show is that sector dial. Effortlessly done, nice profile on the crown right there, and as you flip it over, exhibition case back showing a simple but elegant movement, and that is a automatic Le Jeu Perret caliber G100. Movement manufacturer we're seeing more of now, Le Jeu Perret, offering something a little bit different, maybe slightly higher quality than Solita depending on who you speak to, but the reality is they're all built on similar architecture and obviously do a very similar job, but again, Le Jeu Perret offering something a little different. This is a reference 2145-A, and this is number 66. I don't know if their numbering system was sequential, but there you go, number 66 right there in between the lugs. Comes paired as original strap with its very nice original buckle, and it also comes with its box and paperwork circa 2023, with a additional strap as well, which is unworn by Furlan Mari. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. They've really nailed the proportions of this one because I think it looks great on small wrists, if I can get my words out, and it also looks great on much larger wrists, but they've sort of nailed it in between for most people, I would say. 37.5mm by 46mm lug to lug, 9.5mm on the thickness, and a simple 20mm on the lug width. So really great proportions. So go check this one out on the website today. From there over to a gorgeous original Longines Conquest automatic in 35mm. This is from 1955. Really honest, even patina, strong case, strong example, and price to fly. So let's take a close look at this one. Now on to a favourite of mine, and one of the models I think is still massively underrated and underappreciated in the watch world, leaving great examples to be picked up at really great prices like this one. This is the Longines Conquest Automatic, specifically the reference 9000/6. Often the 9000 series are some of the earlier references, this one dating to circa 1955, and you have the classic, I would say the classic Conquest case and Conquest hands right there. Beautiful faceted indices, really nice tritium on the outside of the dial. Nice simple hands as well. The overall package here is incredible, and it's 35mm, so it's on the smaller side for what I would say a lot of people wear, but it is beefy. The case, the thickness, everything adds a real heft to it, and it wears a lot bigger than the 35mm. You can see the original chamfers are still nicely visible on those lugs, and you get a real sense of the proportions of the case, which is absolutely amazing. Nice sign crown at 3 o'clock, again as you'd expect, and as we flip it over you're presented with a screw down case back, remnants of the original enamel still present in the fish logo right there. It's not uncommon to see most of that gone, unfortunately, and most of the ones I've had have gone almost completely, so to have this much left is kind of amazing. You even still have on the underside of that lug here, if you can see, the original case number still present, which is like a rough engraving that they used to do on the underside of the lug. Very, very interesting. And behind that closed case back, which is screwed down, is an automatic Longines caliber 19AS. And as I say, this one dates from 1955 and is just a really honest example with slight speckling to the dial, which again is very common on these. It must have been the production of the dial. It's just how it patinaed. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And there we go, comfortably on my 7-inch wrist. The proportions are amazing, and I think that looks beautiful. And as I say, I still think these are massively underrated and underappreciated. These should be a hell of a lot more money than they are. So this is 35mm by 43mm lug to lug, only 12mm on the thickness and a simple 18mm on the lug width. So go check out this beauty on the website today. From there over to Sync, I have not had before, and it's an absolute beast on the wrist, so do enjoy. If you enjoy big watches, this is one for you. This is a Crafter Blue automatic chronograph. Really cool thing, so let's take a closer look. So from a 35mm Longines Conquest to this absolute beast, the Crafter Blue automatic chronograph, part of the Hyperion Ocean family, as you can see, and this is an absolute behemoth. Whilst only 42mm, it is obviously quite thick with the Seiko, automatic Seiko caliber inside, which is the NE86. So you do get that weight and heft, but again, it's the kind of watch that I think if you're buying this, using it as a tool at the end of the day, you probably want that heft and that thickness and that wrist presence. So it will be great for a lot of people out there. And if you like smaller watches, it's probably not one for you unless you want to branch out and go into something fun and affordable. Simple two-sided chronograph, running seconds here, chronograph second hand, and the 30-minute totalizer over there with the date nicely placed at 6 o'clock. Now it has got screw down pushers, so you have to unscrew the pushers to use them. Once they're unscrewed, you can obviously stop as you would, and then to reset, you obviously have to unscrew the bottom pusher like so, and then reset, and it's that simple. Obviously, make sure you screw down the pushers afterwards. It keeps your water resistance as it should. It comes paired on a fitted black rubber strap, and it has a completely unworn and stickered bracelet in the box as well. And as we flip it over, you're presented with a nice case back right there. I won't bore you with the reference to this one because it's incredibly long, but as I say, inside automatic Seiko caliber NE86, which was starting to be seen used across some of the more affordable chronographs because it's a more affordable chronograph movement. The only thing is it's quite a big movement, so again, it's typically in bigger watches like this as opposed to small, slim watches, which again, to be expected. It's from December 2023 with its nice Pelican case, original card, and as I say, the strap as well. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. You can actually see it wears on the wrist really nicely, and because of that curved, heavily curved strap, it actually does hug the wrist, but it is thick. You know, you're not getting a jacket over that, even never mind a sort of dress cuff. But then again, I don't know who would be wearing this with a suit, but you never know. So yeah, it's definitely on the thicker side. Do keep that in mind, but dimensions wise, what you're looking at is 42mm by 51mm lug to lug, so that's completely manageable, I would say, for most people. 17mm on the thickness, it's one of the more thicker watches I've sold, but only 20mm on the lug width. So again, they've really distributed the proportions to make it feel as great as it can on the wrist, and I think they've done a pretty good job, all things considered. From one big watch to another, but one that's probably more wearable for most, this is the Synchron Military Poseidon 42mm. As I say, limited edition of 1,000 pieces. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to a really great Synchron automatic. This is the Poseidon Black limited edition of 1,000 pieces total. You can see you've got a really nice black glossy dial right there with a black rotating bezel, which also looms, which is absolutely incredible. Like, the glow on it is very impressive, and it's got a sapphire finish on the bezel itself, making it look like an old Bakelite bezel. I love when these brands do it because it really does look like Bakelite from afar. You have a date over there at 3 o'clock, nice faux patina throughout, and the iconic Poseidon logo right there on the dial, which is really nicely done. Solid screw down case, crown at 3 o'clock, and screw down case back, as you can see, with the limited edition number, and again that Poseidon logo, which is really nice. Inside is an automatic Le Joux Perret G100, as I said with one of the other watches we were looking at today. Le Joux Perret, another movement manufacturer like ETA, like Sellita, but seem to be doing things a little bit different. The architecture is often very similar, but again, they're just doing it at a very good price point, allowing brands like Synchron and Furlan Mari and others to utilize their movements at arguably a better price. This one's from December 2023 with its tube as it comes with and its card, and it comes paired on its original rubber strap, as you can see. right here, very nice tropic rubber. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. So definitely on the larger side, but again wears really well. I would say it wears like a large Seiko turtle, which again these sort of cushion cases usually do. It's 42mm by 45mm lug to lug, 14mm on the thickness, and a smaller 20mm on the lug width for the case size, but again it really works with the distribution of the weight. So go check it out on the website today. Now on to another limited edition. This is the Vero Smoky Bear, the Smoky 44 as it's called, and this is the 38mm version with the bear on the dial and a very cool saying on the back as well. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now on to a really cool Vero Smoky Bear. This is the Smoky 44, a limited edition with a automatic Seiko NH38A inside, from 2023 with its box and paperwork and its spare NATO strap, as well as paired on this really nice thick leather strap with a buckle. As you can see the Smoky Bear up there at 12 o'clock, and it says only you with a symbol down at 6 o'clock. Now please forgive my ignorance, but I believe the Smoky Bear is more of a US thing. It's about fire awareness with camping, which is a very good and serious thing, and a very nice thing for Vero to sort of have done a collaboration with, I would say, especially when you consider they haven't really put their logo anywhere on the dial. You have the bear on the dial instead. It's a very nice sort of field watch vibe going on, which again you'd expect. You have this really nice brush case, or bead blasted I guess you'd call it, with a polished bezel, nice signed crown at 3 o'clock, and as you flip it over you're presented with some writing right there, as you can see, and it says, if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. Again, that must be their motto, a good motto to have, and again, fire awareness, especially outside when camping, very important in stopping wildfires and damage to woodlands and many other things, and animals and all kinds of stuff. So very good cause, I would say. And for more details on that, obviously head to our website or Vero's website, or the Smoky Bear, and you'll find all of that sort of stuff out. But let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. This is a really great alternative to like a Seiko Alpinist, and even if you have zero connection to the Smoky Bear itself, I would say, you know, the bear on the dial is actually pretty damn cool and the overall design is amazing. There's nothing on it screaming collaboration, which I quite like as well. So it's 38mm by 46mm lug to lug, 12mm on the thickness and 20mm on the lugs. So go check this one out on the website today. And last but by no means least, I have got another pull in. This time it is the Neo B orange dial with the date and the 38mm automatic from 2023. So let's take a closer look at this one. Now for another pull in, I have been fortunate enough to have bought and sold a fair few of these over the years now. None have been from pull in themselves. I leave those to people buying them at retail, and then I obviously buy them pre-owned. Like a lot of brands, there was a huge wait list for a while, and I think they're slowly becoming more and more available, which is good for the overall market. But this is the Neo B in orange, as you can see, with that iconic metal dial, which is absolutely gorgeous, the way the sort of colour pops through. The iconic hands and numerals, date at 3 o'clock, and we have a nice crown at 3 o'clock as well. Drilled lug holes and a exhibition case back, showcasing the automatic Seiko caliber NH35A. This watch is from 2023 with its box and paperwork, and it comes paired on this nice black, I believe it's a shell cordovan strap right there. There'll be more details on the website obviously, but a really, really nice looking strap which suits the design beautifully. But the great thing about a watch like this is you can have a lot of fun with straps. I think even like blue straps and things like that would look really quite interesting on something like this. And again, this is just a bit of fun, I would say, in the watch world, whilst offering something unique and different. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my 7-inch wrist. As you can see, that colour definitely pops. And whilst we've had a bit of sun recently, not so much today, it's a bit overcast and grey, but the sun recently, this would have looked amazing out in the sun. So 38mm by 48mm lug to lug, 12mm on the thickness and 18mm on the lugs. So go check out this beautiful watch on the website today. So there you have it, guys and girls. 12 watches in this week's drop. I think the AP is my favourite, along with the Piagets. As always, I have a case for every single watch on the table. That's why it's here at Kibble Watches. But I think the AP gets the win for me. What's your favourite? Let me know down in the comments below. I look forward to reading it. And as always, as I say every single video, thank you very much. If it wasn't for you guys and girls, I wouldn't be able to keep doing this as a living. And I have to admit, whilst the industry is pretty much in a slump and seems a bit down at the moment, we're going from strength to strength. This year is already better than last year, which was better than the year before, and so on and so on. So that's thanks to you guys and girls consigning, buying, selling, whatever it is, even just watching the videos, giving a like on Instagram. Those things really do make a difference. So thank you all very much. And I apologise if at any point in this video I seem a little tired or not quite with it. I've got a bit of a cold, and obviously I'm just exhausted with everything going on at the moment. So I do apologise for any mumblings or mishaps. At the end of the day, I do these off the cuff, no notes, nothing like that, other than the dimensions and certain things that I have on screen. So yes, do forgive me. But we'll see you all again next Saturday for another full drop of incredible pieces. Quite a few fears in that one. Some really interesting fears actually. So do keep an eye out for that one, and we'll see you all again next week. Take care.